Think it's too soon to be using OpenStack for 5G? Well, think again. AT&T is already using OpenStack for the new 5G core. Amy, good to see you on TelecomTV again.
Good to see you again.
At the keynotes here at the OpenStack Summit in Berlin, you made rather an impressive demonstration. You did a call linking to an AT&T lab in Washington State into a rather nice-looking Faraday cage, has to be said. What was the significance of what we were seeing there?
So what you were seeing there is we build our 5G network core, 5G core on our network cloud. Network cloud is powered by OpenStack, and it's deployed and managed by Airship. And we'll talk some more about that a little later. And so what you saw was our VNFs, the 5G packet core, on our network cloud, hosting that call. So the call routed through the packet core to Redmond, Washington. It was a broadband call, a Skype call. It was Skype. And we talked to Gus there. Ryan Van Funwijk, who is our lead developer, was talking to Gus, who's the developer of the VNF, Gus Borg. And that call was riding on OpenStack. And then you saw the resiliency of the architecture of both the VNF and OpenStack when they deleted a VM, and then the call stayed up. It froze for a second momentarily, and then the call stayed up. So it was really showing that this is real. We are launching our 5G services on OpenStack on our network cloud.
I can't imagine there are many people who would delete a VM live on stage and hope it comes back again.
We were a little nervous because, demo gods don't always play well with you, but we were confident it would work.
Excellent. All this work then is been, as you've said, it's been delivered and driven by software. It's all over AT&T's network cloud. So explain exactly where OpenStack fits into this picture.
So one of the things that we say about 5G is, it's the first of the mobile communications generations that's really been born in the cloud, or born in the cloud era. And we thought it was very important to start it on the cloud and not start somewhere and then have to migrate to the cloud. And so what we're doing is we are deploying the 5G packet core on our network cloud. We're doing that and scaling that out. And so it's very important for us to be able to scale out, to be able to extend to the edge, because as the promise of 5G and some of the low latency and ultra high speeds that are needed at the edge, we can do that, and we'll be able to do that with our network cloud.
This ability to scale out, you mentioned in the keynote this concept of VNF Teaming.
So this is within our VNF development team. They have looked at, VNFs can be very complex. A phone call, a communications call can be very complex with a lot of east-west traffic if you have different VNFs scaling at different rates. And so what they've done is they've tried to take the VNFs and match them and scale them at a similar rate so that they can scale in a more cloud-like fashion. It may not be what the purest sense of the word cloud native means, but it operates more cloud-like. And so it allows us to scale and have a single unit of scale as we operate the network. So it adds some simplicity that is needed as we're getting started and moving.
Let's move on to talk about Airship, because we first spoke about Airship about 6 months ago at the OpenStack event in Vancouver. What's happened since then, and how is AT&T already using it?
So Airship is the lifecycle management tool, the software deployment tool that we are using to deploy our network cloud. We were using it when we launched it back in May. We continue to use it. We've been active in the community, trying to build the community and getting other carriers and other partners to contribute to the community. One of the things that's a really key stat that I like to think about and look at is if you go, as of about a month ago, we were seeing Armada, which is one of the main components of Airship, we were seeing it being pulled about 62 times a day. So that's showing a lot of usage, a lot of interest. We use it. We are continuing to add to it and work with the community. We think it's really a game changer.
And what about the rollout of the AT&T network cloud? How are your plans progressing there?
So we've got about 20 regions that are deployed so far, and we'll continue to scale that as we scale out our 5G.
It's an example of how AT&T is continues to be committed and engaged with open source and the wider open source community. What's the appeal and what's the message that it sends out to your peers and especially the smaller CSPs?
So open source, we are 100% committed to open source. We feel like there's nothing better than the open collaboration that happens when you can have vendors and customers and competitors all collaborating, working on the same problems, because we all have similar problems. And so, in the open source community, we want to continue that. And then, if you look at, just in OpenStack, Jonathan and Mark in their keynotes talked about the 70,000 changes that happened last year in the open source, OpenStack source code. I can't do that rate of change, can't afford to have that rate of change and that rate of development internally, but because I'm in OpenStack and in open source, I get the benefit of that.
Excellent. Well, Amy, as always, thanks for talking with TelecomTV, and we look forward to 6 months' time and learning of more developments.
Thank you.